Okay, Johnny, this one's got your number on it. Let's jam.
Hello and welcome back to another Cinema Jam. Today we have a new special series called Cinema Jam Versus, and we're going to be starting with different genres. We're going to be exploring quite a different array of movies, and we are excited to start. So, welcome back, everyone. Please subscribe, follow us, leave your comments. We want to get suggestions, especially for this versus. So we hope to get you on board with our different explorations of genre movies. As always, I'm Sebastian Gomez from Austin, Texas. I'm from Montreal, Canada.
Pablo Vélez. Hi, everyone. Hi, Sebas. How are you?
I'm doing great. Ready to go into the versus and the round match. So let's start.
Yeah, awesome. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be putting two movies, kind of like fighting between them. They are movies that are meant to be of the same genre or about the same topic, so something that we can compare and basically, put up to fight in a way. So for today, we're actually going to be talking about two movies that the inspiration came because we're talking in our regular podcast on the Friday one about sequels that were very disappointing from a commercial and artistic perspective, or better, critics' perspective. They didn't appreciate them, but both Sebastian and I, we have a soft spot in our hearts for them. So that was inspiration. And today we're going to be talking about two movies that
tell us
both
about it.
Yeah, that Sebastian and I we love, and those movies are Leviathan and Deep Blue Sea.
Correct. These movies, I mean, they are very close to our hearts. Deep Blue Sea is something funny because it was actually one of the date movies one of the first dates I had with my now wife. It was watching Deep Blue Sea. I had it always like, I like it, but it has been a long time since I saw it. So more than 20 years.
And in my case, I always treasure deeply in my heart Leviathan. There's something about that movie that I really like. Is this movie that aspires to be Aliens, but it's not, or Alien better, like the first one. It aspires to do a lot of things and aspires to be more than what it can actually do. But in that process, it actually does some very interesting things. So Leviathan is a movie that I watched over and over with my brother when we were younger. So it's always a part of my childhood.
And I think Deep Blue Sea is also trying to like gain the next Jaws or something like that. I mean, there has been many tries, but we can talk a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so let me maybe introduce as the two movies, and then we can start with the round of the competition as such.
Battle Rounds.
The Battle Rounds. So thanks. The first one I want to talk about is Leviathan because it's the oldest one in this competition. It's a movie from 1989, directed by no other than George P. Columbus, the same famous director of all of the Stallone big hits from the 80s, starting with Rambo and Cobra. And
Rambo Part 2.
Part 2, thank you. And then Cobra, which is also one of the movies that I personally really like. The movie actually has a very interesting casting, or better cast. It has Peter Wheeler from RoboCop fame as the lead. Also has Amanda Pays, that I think she was in one of the James Bond movies, if I'm not mistaken.
I have no idea.
Well, she seemed to be like a leading actress at some point in the late 80s, early 90s, but then she disappeared. Other known people in this movie the known names include Richard Crenna, who's actually Rambo's lieutenant. Is it lieutenant? No. Colonel or general? The guy who's always with Sylvester Stallone in Rambo. I'm forgetting the name. But he's in all the Rambo movies. Then you also have Ernie Hudson from the Ghostbusters movies from 1 and 2, and Daniel Stern from Home Alone. And
Hector Elizondo as well is one of the faces that I recognize more.
Yeah,
I think he has always been a very good character actor. He's the bald guy in the movie. Sorry.
Okay, so what is the movie about? The movie is about a group of miners under sea that are trapped because there's a hurricane and their extraction has been delayed. And in the meantime, they find by accident this Russian boat that has a entity, some sort of creature that ends up being a mutation of different deep sea creatures that infects people. So if you want to, put it in a nutshell, this is aliens cross with the Thing in a way. And this is basically what it is, but undersea.
I think that's the best description possible. Aliens plus the Thing plus underwater.
Perfect. Yeah. Now, the next movie, the one that we're going to be putting this one up against, is called Deep Blue Sea. It came out 10 years after this one, so in 1999, and is a movie directed by Remy Harlan and starred by also a very interesting group of actors. The leading man is Thomas Jane. I recognize him from the movie, the Stephen King book Shoots. The one with sorry, not the Stephen King, the Lovecraft adaptation, the Mist. Yeah, the movie The Mist.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's but I mean, he's in full late 90s leading man role, always swimming without a t-shirt and showing his muscles to everyone in the base. The leading actress that actually doesn't make it to the end is Saffron Burrows as Dr. Susan McAllister, who is the one who runs this lab where they are creating these mutant sharks to extract proteins from their brains to cure Alzheimer's. So we'll talk about some of the plot holes later on, but I mean, that's the idea behind this movie. Other big names in the cast. Samuel L. Jackson, amazingly. Samuel L. Jackson is here. I thought he would actually make it all the way to the end, Sebas, but he did not. And also a couple that we were talking offline that surprised us. First, Stellan Skarsgård. That was something that I did not remember at all and surprised me completely. And then LL Cool J. I saw this very cool, smooth cook in the bass, and I was thinking to myself, this guy has to be a rapper. And there you go, LL Cool J.
I do want to mention that the director actually also has a lot of connections with Stallone as well. He directed Cliffhanger. He directed Driving, the very bad Formula One movie by Stallone. And actually, he's actually a very you can say famous director. He has a lot of movies that he has directed. I mean, from Die Hard 2, Cutthroat Island, The Long Kiss Goodnight. No, those are pretty cool movies. I like those movies from the 90s. So, yeah, it's interesting to see that he was a better known director than I expected at the beginning. I didn't remember he was the director of this movie.
So, just before we start the battle rounds, I think you mentioned something that about the movies and
1999 is very strange, Pablo. 1989. Sorry, it was 89.
89
from Leviathan,
not from. Yeah.
Yeah, it was quite interesting because when we were looking at this movie, okay, in the end we decided to go with the genetic modification and the genetic alteration theme and human playing with nature and everything like that. But there were three kind of big underwater movies that were released the same year as the Leviathan. Well, including Leviathan. Deep Star 6 is another movie from the same year. I think it was released in January. That one has more like a soap opera casting, but it also have some known names. But the big one, it was actually The Abyss by James Cameron before the Titanic and all that. He made this movie very personal in some regards, especially because I think he was at the time. I mean, that movie in particular, I rewatched it for this podcast because I thought it was actually a good comparison. It was all about
his divorce.
The divorce. Yeah, it's a big topic in that one. So it was interesting in watching. And this one is also, I mean, it's interesting because the three movies actually have very interesting themes about love and, how difficult it is having a relationship underwater. And as Leviathan is based on miners, I think, right? They're mining. Yeah.
They're miners.
The other ones are all rigged ones. So the Abyss and Leviathan are actually the ones that I think are closer together. Star 6 is all about building a nuclear silo underwater or something like that. So it was more a military team, but it was interesting. The 1989 it became quite popular.
Okay, Sebas, let's start with the battle rounds.
Let's do
So
it.
you can kick us off.
Okay. So we have a group of questions that we're gonna ask related to these ones. Well, basically, we will be. This is the first time we're gonna explain it a little bit more. So normally we're going to be very fast, very quick. We will try to get over it really quick. But today we will maybe ask a little bit more. So our first question related to a story and script is, which had the tighter plot? In which one the plot was more interesting?
Oh my God. Interesting or tighter? I would say that for round one, I would give it to Leviathan. There's a bit of a more interesting mystery behind this whole Russian boat, and they left that open, like what exactly they were doing there. The whole plot with the sharks is just absurd. So I would give round one to Leviathan.
And the topic of corporate interference as well. This is a spoiler heavy podcast. We're not going to mind talking about the spoilers. In this one, it has a lot of the alien thing about it, that the corporations is modifying and telling lies to the crew that is on hand. So I am actually going to give to the worker crew. So it's closer to Alien in that regard. So I actually thought that the plot it was more interesting because there was no hurricane. In the other two movies, actually, the Abyss and Deep Blue Sea, the hurricane is a big character. And maybe we should talk about that, like who were another character or out of things. But in this one, the hurricane is a lie.
Go on to round two. I'll ask this one to you, Sebas.
Okay.
So this is about characters and acting. So Sebas, who stole the show?
I mean, I have to go with, to be honest, with Deep Blue Sea. I mean, the characters, especially Samuel L. Jackson, even with all the surprise and everything that happens, he's just pushing the movie forward. And I'm actually kind of sad that he went away so fast. And I always like Thomas Jane. I'm not going to, between Peter Weir and Thomas Jane, I think I'll always like Thomas Jane a little bit more. Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
to be honest, in there, yeah.
Let's go with Deep Blue Sea. I mean, there's nothing cooler than seeing Samuel L. Jackson pretending to be this sophisticated millionaire funding a genetics operation underwater with, one-liners and talking like all super cool, street-like to the cook. So who's LL Cool J, who also stole the show, I would say, in some
LL
moments.
Cool J was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was actually pretty fun.
His name is in there, but yeah, he actually,
The cook
preached, right? And the way he survives the shark attack, it was actually one of the coolest part of the movie. Okay.
So round
visuals
three.
and direction, the round three. Well, look, I'm going to ask, which aged better? What is the movie that you think aged better?
Oh God, I think the special effects from Deep Blue Sea really didn't age well. You can see the sharks, and they are like not good at all. The advantage of Leviathan is that it was all practical and like mechanical effects. Like those are Stan Winston effects.
The same one from The Thing, yeah.
Yeah, from The Thing and even from Aliens, you could totally see that they were recycling a lot of that. So I think it's better overall. I would give the point to Leviathan cells.
Yeah. I do think the environment was better in Deep Blue Sea, but I'm going to agree that the CGI sharks don't look as good as they were. And I mean, I have to be honest, I was a little bit disappointed about the alien creature in the Leviathan because you could tell that it was trying to be the thing. Yeah. And the sharks in this one are trying to be the sharks from Jaws. So yeah, I wish they could have tried to be something more original in both cases, to be honest. So actually, both of them are a little bit disappointing, to be honest, after rewatching them.
Yeah, but if we make them compete and just discuss and
Oh yeah,
give
yeah.
decide who age better, I think Leviathan has a little edge over.
Yeah. No, I agree completely. Yeah. It was just that, it was a little bit disappointed, to be honest, of both. Round 4, soundtrack or by, well, which one we could put in a Spotify? None of them.
None of them. I think none of them is actually memorable because of their music. So let's put
Yeah,
0 on
maybe
both.
probably the music from Deep Blue Sea is a little bit more traditional Hollywood fanfare. So maybe I actually don't remember who's the
Actually,
one, but
actually, the composer from Leviathan, I think, is a famous one. Just let me look
from
it
an
up.
Italian, because it's an Italian production, right? It's one of the famous
No,
Italian.
no, 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 no. Is
Look for the composer. I will look into the what. I mean, I did like the.
Jerry Goldsmith.
Okay.
Jerry Goldsmith is the guy who did LA Confidential, Boys from Brazil. He did a bunch of Star Trek soundtracks. He's one of the most famous composers in Hollywood.
It could be, that could be cool. I mean, LL Cool J does have the final song in the Deep Blue
It's
Sea. I
really
don't know if you
bad.
check it.
No, Sales. Let's move forward to the next round. Honestly,
Yeah, this one I think
when it comes
none
to
of them.
soundtrack and vibe, both movies suck. So round 5, I'll
Go
ask
ahead.
this one. So this is about quotability and memorable moments. This is round 5. So Sebas, what lines or scenes from the movies, from your perspective, could have become cultural touchstones or highlights, if any?
Well, to be honest, the shark eating Samuel L. Jackson became a little bit of a meme. A little bit of a meme for a short time. So I think that's the closest. Because to be
You're
honest,
right.
I don't remember a lot of people remembering Leviathan, to be honest.
Well, it was before the
The internet, yeah. But even the theme for Alien, it became
mm,
cultural icons. But yeah, I mean, none of them are great. Deep Blue Sea at least had two more sequels, so I guess we could go with that. At least it became a franchise.
Okay, let's give that point to Deep Blue Sea. I'm not going to argue because I honestly can't think of anything memorable from Leviathan.
Round 6, Pablo. This is rewatchability. Which will we rewatch right now if
Wow,
we have 2 hours?
I would go with Leviathan.
I think so as well. Yeah. The Deep Blue Sea is too predictable.
Yeah.
Leviathan is actually it's so weird that it's actually kind of interesting. I'm not going to deny it. Yeah. I'll give it to
Okay,
Leviathan.
so now I have a bit of a surprise. Since this is our first versus episode, let's do a couple of wild card rounds. I'm going to throw the first one in and you're going to tell me what's your UTF moment. What the F moment?
I think I mentioned it
Tell me more.
already. The Samuel L. Jackson, the first time that you watch it is such a big surprise when the shark attacked it. Even the Skarsgård moment. I mean, I think all the shark attacks are quite surprising.
I agree.
The Leviathan, it puts too much effort into building suspense that it actually took a little bit away of when the surprises finally happen. Yeah.
No, I completely agree. Let's give that bonus point to Deep Blue Sea.
Okay, this is actually so the what that's a wild card. That's an special bonus round. We actually have a couple of them as well. So the plot holes. So which one do you think are the ones that have the better plot holes? I mean, the question is that's the last round, battle round. The last battle round is
Which
which
movie
movie
collapsed?
collapses if you think too hard about it.
Oh, Deep Blue Sea.
See, yeah. Yeah, there is no way Samuel L. Jackson didn't knew they were doing genetic modifications. Yeah, it's impossible he didn't knew.
And I mean, they didn't need to do this by modifying like sharks and then extracting the proteins live with this procedure that seemed like completely
Yeah.
like whatever. I mean, that's not how you cultivate stuff in a lab. So it's a huge plot hole. The advantage of Leviathan is that they don't really explain where this thing is coming from. So you just like, okay, whatever. It just came up from this Russian boat. But Deep Blue Sea actually tries to explain it with his whole lab and research. So yeah, whatever. It's a big plot hole.
Okay. So wait,
So we're
I
gonna give
am
the
looking at this correctly. Okay, no.
I'm gonna give the point to Leviathan. So
Oh wait,
if we
okay, that
look
was a
at the
close
sum,
one. Wow, yeah.
look if we look at the sum of the points from all the 6 rounds that we just did plus the 2 bonus rounds, Leviathan comes in first with 4 points, and then we've got Deep Blue Sea with 3 points. We didn't give any points for quotability and memorable moments. That's why it doesn't add up to 6.
No, we didn't give to soundtrack and vibe, right?
Sorry, soundtrack and vibe. Yeah, so we didn't give any points for soundtrack and vibe. So that's why it doesn't add up to 8 total, because we actually added also the 2 bonus rounds. So from
I
a
think for next time we
pure,
have to add a new one so that makes sure that they are not even numbers.
yeah, fair enough. Now, Sebas, maybe in combination with, just the pure sum of the points, I think we can also ask ourselves for the final verdict a tough question that we discussed offline that I think is pretty cool for this versus episodes. If we had to erase one of the 2 movies from existence, like completely, like deleted from history, which one stays and which one goes?
In this case, I'm going with the verdict we had. I think I will keep Leviathan. Deep Blue Sea has the personal connection that I mentioned before, but yeah, in the end, Leviathan was more interesting, and it was trying to do more, actually, more interesting things. Even if it wasn't completely successful, it was at least the winner.
Perfect. We're done. We're good. The first battle of this versus episodes is done. Leviathan comes in as the winner, and if we could, we would erase from history Deep Blue Sea. So that's it for today's episode. We're going to be continuing doing this rounds every week on Wednesdays. This is when we record our podcast, and then Sebas publishes this in our different social networks. Sebas, what are we going to be doing next week? What's the next battle?
Yeah, so we have quite a list to go, but I'm more interested in exploring like the remakes from original international versions. So we're gonna do an easy one that it was like pretty close to what we did in September in the September tapes. So is the original movie Wreck from Spain with the remake Quarantine in the United States. So that's are going to be the pairing. I think both of them are available in Tubi, so it's gonna be easy to watch. So yeah, until next time, keep jamming about movies.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Sebas.
So.